this, respect this, respect it. This little fella here, this is what you respect. You want to hold it, you want to grab it, you want to run with it. This is what counts. G'day folks, and welcome to episode 12 of The Rugby Man, entitled And Yet He Gains. My name's Stu Andrews, and the title comes from the estimable Princess Bride movie, where Fezzik is carrying Vincini, the princess, and Inigo up the cliffs with the man in black gaining behind them. And yet he gains, says Vincini. And Fezzik goes, it's not fair, I'm carrying 3 people, and he's only got himself. And Vincini says, I do not accept excuses. I'm just going to have to find myself a new giant. I feel like Robbie and Fezzik have something in common, and us, the public, and Vincini seem to share some traits. Well, welcome tonight. This show's entirely dedicated to the Bledisloe match that happened on Saturday between the Wallabies and the All Blacks at the Olympic Park. I was fortunate and blessed enough to be able to have been given a ticket. Thanks, Margaret. It was awesome to be there. And as a disclaimer, I just want to say I don't have a great rugby pedigree. It's not. They're just my opinions. Are just my opinions. I love the game. That's why I'm passionate about it. That's why I love to talk about it. And it's what started me on the Rugby Man. And so yeah, for the top flight people who hear me, and if you do, that'd be cool. But yeah, take what I say with a grain of salt. I haven't been where you are. All right, 3 points tonight. 1, the reffing. 2, the crowd. And 3, the players. Firstly, the reffing. Last time I had a bit of a rant, and tonight it's not going to get any better. Kaplan, what's going? Okay, first off, both sides, like the reffing was bad, but we got away with some stuff. Like, you know, there were some things that we shouldn't have got away with. So did the All Blacks. They both got away with stuff. I feel like it's just the inconsistency that bothers me. Now, yeah, if you're playing great or subbies or whatever down low, okay, inconsistency. The refs aren't being paid, I don't think, at least not when I was playing, not the level I was playing. This is the top flight. This is the greatest levels of sport, of rugby available, and the inconsistency is crazy. We've got to get on top of that, the refs, in my opinion. It's driving me insane as a spectator, and a lot of people. I mean, you hear it a lot. Yep, he was tough in some instances. I feel like one of those All Black tries probably could have been given to him, but he was tough on us too. Which brings me to my point. The refs, whoever's in charge, get your act together and sort out their problems with Al. That's insane. Al is a good prop. He's a great prop. He's stepped up. He's got better and better. And here it is, 30 minutes into the game, Kaplan's been sitting on the side of his scrum and just pinging him all the time. Granted, a couple of times, man, it riles me like nothing else. Well, no, not like nothing else, but as you'll see in a second. This is crazy. Get it fixed. And as we saw, if any refs watch this, or anyone knows of a ref, pass this on, tell them to go to Green and Gold and watch the breakdown of the tight head props and how they bind. And get that sorted out. That's all I can say. It drives me wild. Alright, number 2, the crowd. And I'm sorry, I don't normally like to have these rants all on top of each other, but Saturday night was great. It was fantastic in some ways. Like, there was a couple of times when these big roars went around the crowd, and I was just like, you know, in the middle of the charging down the field with the bagpipes going with the battle. But then the amount of the absolute 80,000 people booing Dan Carter when he's kicking a goal. Are we monkeys that we fling our dung at each other? What's going on? Seriously, this is a contest of awesome physicality between people. We're all people Stop. Like, I understand we have our sides and battles, and people like to, you know, evil eyes the opposition. But my opinion is it belittles and, you know, makes our game into, into parlour tricks and, candy floss when the whole crowd is booing the opposition on the kick. Now, sure, if the opposition, like if Shoal Igard just run on the field and beat him up, like, no problems there. But when Carter's kicking, and it's not like Carter's a dude who gets a lot of, kicks a lot of people while they're down, or punches them. He's a great player and worthy of our respect as rugby, lovers. So that really disappointed me. That thousands, and I mean, probably it wouldn't have been everyone for sure, but a vast majority of people were booing. It's terrible. Anyway, number 3, the players. I feel all wrung out now. I'm getting. First off, how electric is Siviatu? I think I've said it a couple of times when I saw him play the Waratahs. The same thing occurred to me. He just off the mark a couple of nights there. When he got the ball, I was scared. Like he is electric. It's very cool to watch. And again, I was talking about it makes me miss Digby because he's electric. Anyway, so Ziviatu, what a dude. I haven't got too many other All Blacks to talk about. Sharpie, man, I wish you're not watching this, but I wish he could have run over Leonard, the halfback, because that would, it's kind of, it's not Falcon off George's head game changing, but it's nearly there. I mean, at least he got the penalty and that's cool. But man, I can imagine Sharpie would be, just wanted to run over him. I don't know how much. Plenty of people are bagging out the Wallabies. We lost, and we could have won it. We didn't play well. We didn't play consistently, and I'm sure the players will know that. And if they don't, it's not my job to tell them. And why would they listen to me anyway? I've got my opinions. I think some people should be dropped. Some people should be given a starting role. You should pull out a few people out of club. We don't have a lot of, for example, the second row. We don't have a lot of guys. But why? But is Caldwell injured? I read somewhere else. I mean, there's a guy who should have been given his start. He plays so well for the Waratahs, and he's such a workhorse. Anyway, I didn't want to go into specifics, but Junior, how about, I think it's 5 minutes to go or less, like he made this awesome break from on our side of halfway. He just somehow the All Blacks took it in, and then Junior's like, and he 20-metre run. It was fantastic. It was just and it was in that period of time that after the All Blacks scored, Nonu scored, and more power to them. They just that was building up and building up. 2 tries disallowed, and then bam, they're over. Anyway, they scored. We came back and we fired up. It was great. It gave me hope. I mean, it was only 5 minutes of hope, but it was good. Strong stuff came together. Genius break. We did some good things. But what excited me most was that we fought back. We didn't just let it go, but we fought back. Brain freezes at the end. Everyone knows, blah, 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 I should have kicked the drop goal. It's true. That's what these big games do. They make you, and hopefully guys are going to sit down and make the right decision. Not sit down, hopefully they're going to play and play right and make the right decisions. I've never been in those high pressure situations, so I don't know what it's like. But that's about it. I just, some players did well, I feel. Most players, I think, did average, whether that was because of decision making or fatigue. Rocky, he played well in the first 40 minutes, but the dude's just come back from like a long time off. I think he did really well. Sir George, awesome as always. I know people are trying to pick holes and say he should have called for the drop goal. Maybe he should have. But when a guy's been 80 minutes hitting all the rocks, And I know, you know, but he hasn't been. He hasn't been captain like Gilsey was for a long time. Like, he's not. He's not a guy who's, you know. Anyway, yeah. I think he did very well. He's probably the best Wallaby on the night, as per usual. Adam Ashley Cooper, his quality. Yeah. So all the best, boys, for Saturday night. I really hope we can stick it to them. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. This right here, this is what you want. This is respect. You respect this, you win the game. That's all there is to it.